the body, the business, the relationship, the impact, like that all is going to require a new level of you. And a next level requires conflict, which requires growth. And it's going to require growth, and growth is not comfortable, and that's okay.
Do not listen to anyone who tells you that all of your dreams are going to come true just because you hope they do. No, your dreams will come true because you put in hard work each day and you learned and you grew.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, 815. Alan is pointing to the Let's Connect again. How do you handle judgment and negative feedback from your friends and family? Last week's live Q&A. Today, for episode number 816, we are turning delusional beliefs into empowering ones. Alan, why are we doing this episode?
Yeah, great start there. Strong work, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So hey, no problem. Turning delusional beliefs into, I like doing the Let's Connect thing, like boop, 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 boop. Turning delusional beliefs into empowering ones. So Kevin and I, as you all know, it's interesting because I think about, like, imagine if Kevin and I were not in this self-improvement space and we weren't doing this podcast. We would want to know some of the patterns that people like us have recognized just because we've been doing this for so long. And so when you hear Kevin and I talk about how we have so many episodes and we've met so many people, we've interviewed so many people, we have so many coaching clients, the reason we say that is so that everyone listening and viewing this, you understand we're not just talking heads. We're not just coming up with this stuff. And I say this to my clients as well. I say, I'm about to surpass my 1,000th coaching call. And so when I recommend to someone a certain line item on their PPT, I always say that because it's like, I know I've done this so many times. Just trust me. I've got you. We're gonna design your life for consistency. I've got you. And so it's a beautiful back and forth. And one of my clients basically said, I love how it's a collaborative process. Kevin and I want to make sure that you as a listener or viewer of this show feel like we're collaborating with you to help you make your life better in terms of health, wealth, and love. Again, life, love, health, and wealth. And so why are we doing delusional beliefs? Kevin and I, at this point, are so blessed to have spoken with one-on-one and, in person, sometimes virtually, mostly virtually at this point, all over the world, people all over the world, different cultural backgrounds, and we just see these common patterns, especially in the self-improvement space, these delusional beliefs that, quite frankly, are holding people back. They're just holding people back. And Kevin and I cannot stand watching people be held back, and then people perpetuate these limiting beliefs that don't appear limiting. They seem empowering on the surface, but in reality, they're actually limiting people. And we're going to help you unlock your potential today, definitely.
All right. So we have 3 of them. And like Alan said, it wasn't just, hey, what do we think will sound good? It was, what have our clients gone through? What has the team gone through? What have we gone through? What have we witnessed from connecting with a bunch of people? So yes, it's all, the goal is always for it to be evidence-based, based in practice, not just theory. So number 1, and this is something that you see people post, you hear people say, it's all just going to work out. I'll tell a story, Alan, and then you can do the replacement belief. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I had a podcast client one time, and we got to the point where we were on a call, and it actually got to the point where I was kind of dreading the calls, because the calls would always be like, well, I don't really want to do anymore, and I feel like right now is just kind of a season for me to rest and relax. And I said, I understand that and I appreciate that, and I want you to take your R&R. If you know me and you listen to this podcast, I'm so big on that. But you have to understand that this thing is not going to grow by itself. It's not just going to hit and people are going to listen. Like, we have to be out there, particularly in the beginning, and you have to be putting in the extra work. And she said, like, well, I know this is going to work. It's just a matter of time. This person is no longer a podcaster, no longer has a podcast, and is doing a lot of things differently than she was before. Again, nothing but love. But when people come to Alan and I, or when people think that things are just going to work out, they are really, really in for a rough road. And if you don't change this belief, one of 2 things happens. 1, you convince yourself that it was bad luck. 2, you convince yourself that it wasn't meant to be. And then this whole belief system perpetuates. What's the positive, empowering version of that, Alan?
So I want to tell a super
Please.
quick story before it too. So I'm reading Will right now. It's a book by Will Smith. And he was talking about how his imagination as a kid was so delusional. And Will Smith is obviously someone who has found a way to turn some of those delusional beliefs into realities through unbelievable work ethic. But he basically says in the book, and I won't spoil it for anyone who's going to listen because it's great. And I recommend listening to it, by the way, because he performs it, and he's obviously a phenomenal performer. But basically, what he says is, if it wasn't for my unreasonable work ethic and self-discipline from my entrepreneurial father, who worked 7 days a week every day and then instilled that in me, my delusions would have stayed delusions. And so I just wanted to say that quickly because, having unbelievably high belief in your own abilities is wonderful. Having belief that it's all just going to work out by default is quite frankly silly. It's not only delusional, it's just silly. So the replacement belief. Kevin and I don't want to just call out the disempowering beliefs. We want to replace them with empowering ones. The replacement belief that we wrote down for this is, instead of it's all just going to work out, this is the replacement. What I do every day determines what does and does not work out. Again, here's the delusional belief. It's all just going to work out by default. The replacement belief, the empowering belief, is what I do each day determines what does and does not work out. And you can see why that's so empowering, because now you have its cause and effect. Something as simple as you drink a lot of water, you're going to have to go to the bathroom. Life is cause and effect. And if you think you're going to get an effect, a result, without any effort, you're just delusional. And so we want to be hard-driven but no BS. Do not listen to anyone who tells you that all of your dreams are going to come true just because you hope they do. No, your dreams will come true because you put in hard work each day and you learned and you grew.
That brings us directly to our second point. Alan kind of just touched on it. I can achieve more with less effort. So I was in a podcast group the other day, and I have a couple quick stories for this, but I was in a podcast group the other day, and one of the questions somebody posed was, how many episodes do you produce a week? And I always get excited when I get the opportunity to answer a question like that, because I know Alan and I probably do more episodes than almost anybody in that group. And it's not from a place of ego, it's from a place of pride of like, wow, sometimes I forget that 7 episodes a week is wild. Right? It's crazy to do 7 episodes a week, and everybody says that to us.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. It's very difficult. But you might look at us and say, wow, they achieve way more now with way less effort, when in reality, Alan and I are just way better now at podcasting. And honestly, we're supposed to get all of our episodes done on Monday when we're recording this one, and we're not going to get 2 of them done because it's still very, very difficult. It's still as hard as it's ever been, but our competency is higher now, so our capability is higher and our output is higher. Another point on this really quickly. I keep seeing this ad on Instagram that we will, and again, there might be a way to do this. I don't believe it, so this is just my opinion, but we guarantee we will launch you a top-rated, top-charting podcast or your money back. I just launched a top-rated, top-charting podcast, largely in part because Tori Leto has a huge following, right? That's not something I did.
Her hard work for the last
Yes.
decade.
That was her,
is
not
the
me.
only reason that's possible.
Right?
Yeah.
But I sent her a screenshot on the day, and I said, hey, congrats. Like, you're charting in like 25 countries. Like, she hit number 15 in the U.S. for relationships. The top 15
awesome.
podcasts in the country for relationships.
Let's go, Tori. Huge shout out.
Let's go, Tori. Huge Tori. Huge shout out. That wasn't easy. It wasn't not doing work. It was all the work she's put in behind the scenes. It's not like she came to me and said, hey, give me a top charting podcast. And I said, yeah, we're going to throw something together. It wasn't that. It was, well, your podcast is going to be on what you're the best at, relationships with yourself and others. So and this is a pain point for Alan and I, and we're going to talk about this in an episode, but it's kind of getting difficult for us to bring on aligned guests because everybody's saying you can achieve more with less effort. By definition, you can't maximize your potential with less. It doesn't
Nope.
maximize and less aren't the same thing. Now, again, if you're not trying to maximize, that's a different story, but still, a lot of people are trying to convince you that you can do way less or do way more in less time. Alan, remember the and this is going to date me, but remember the belt that they would sell like 20 years ago?
God, man.
So for those of you who don't know, there's this belt that you supposedly put around your waist and you turn it on and it tightens your abs for you and it makes you lose weight. They're pushing that again. There's another one of those now that a lot of fitness influencers are pushing. It doesn't work. It's not real. But people want to get more done in less time, so they fall for that.
Yeah.
Fire.
Dude, strong work. And again, Kevin and I, heart-driven but no BS, we're just leaning into that. So Tori had a huge success, and she's a top 15 show in relationships for all of the U.S., right?
Yes.
Okay, here's the part of the story that is actually true, and all of that is true, but here's my point. It's the hard work she put in prior to us helping her produce her show. Mm-hmm. She has 3,528 posts on Instagram. Do you want to know why Tori's show crushed it and is crushing it? Because Tori put in massive effort for over a decade on Instagram and in therapy. Mm-hmm. She's had probably hundreds, if not thousands of clients at this point in therapy. See, that's what these people aren't saying to you. What they're saying is, hey, we launched a top, podcast. What they're not saying is that it wasn't them who did it. And so anyways, huge shout out to Tori. Tori's doing awesome, but that's because of Tori's hard work. And yes, we played a small part in that beautiful thing, but we're not going to take credit for something that was not us. What was us is we helped her launch her podcast. What was her was the decade of hard work that she put in to get that many listens that quickly. Okay, so the replacement belief. So the disempowering delusional belief was I can achieve more with less effort. Here's the replacement belief, and I want everyone listening or watching this to really listen closely to this. As I become more competent and gain momentum over time, only then can I achieve more with less effort. Again, disempowering delusional belief is I can achieve more with less effort. Sounds a lot like 6-minute abs. 6 minutes a day and you'll have abs. It's not how it works. Okay? I can achieve more with less effort. Delusional. Here's the empowering replacement. As I become more competent and gain momentum over time in my craft, only then can I achieve more with less effort. See, Tori is a perfect example. She became more competent at therapy and relationships, and she gained massive momentum over a decade plus. Then she could achieve more in less effort. And by the way, she's still putting in effort to do her show. So it's just important to understand, and that's what Kevin and I are so passionate about.
Hey guys, my name is Valdellon, and I just finished Next Level Group Coaching. When I joined, I wasn't sure what I was walking into. But during the entire course and the program, I figured out it's not something that I wanted to do, it's something I needed to do. They helped set me on the right path with learning how to do PPTs, peak performance tracking, and every 2 weeks I was gaining new awarenesses and getting a lot more happier, first of all, in my health, wealth, and love, but also winning more practically and tactically in business. So if you're looking to upgrade your life and get to that next level, definitely sign up for that group coaching.
Number 3, this is an interesting one. And again, I will preface it with, yes, there are some people who this isn't a delusional belief, but we're going to lean into that part here. Number 3, I should be charging more. So Alan and I went to an event recently, and one of the bits of advice that we were given and the entire audience was given is you should just add a 0 to your pricing. Now, I want you to think of this for a second. At the time, our most expensive coaching package was $2,500 a month. Imagine if Alan and I just started saying $25,000 a month or nothing. Our business would have burned to the ground because it's hard enough to get in front of somebody who's willing to pay $2,500 a month, never mind $25,000. Alan, what's 25 times 12? $25, $50, $75, $25.50. That's $300,000 a year. So
yeah, it's 300,000. $300,000.
Imagine us going from $30,000 a year to $300,000 a year charging somebody. That is not great advice to give. Now, again, you might be thinking, well, I'm more valuable than that. My time is more valuable than that. With all due respect, your time is directly correlated to the value that you can deliver to the customer. Okay? iPhones are $1,600 or $1,800. Do you realize how much these would have cost 10 years ago? Like this bit of technology? For what the technology is, it's actually it's a value. It's cheap for what it actually provides. And I think that you have to correlate what is the amount of value I'm giving back to the person, the business, whatever. That you can work your charges off of that, but not necessarily what you think you should be charging. Alan and I have gotten very clear on this, which I'm grateful for. And now I know like what price works for this, what price works for that. But it's based on what the client is getting back, not what I want to charge. And I think it's an important distinction. Don't add a zero. Okay, cool. You want to add a zero, add a couple zeros to the amount of hours you've spent mastering your craft, and then you can start raising your prices for sure.
Right. Sustainably. We had someone in the room at that event that was a brand new coach. And she was charging $500 at the time, and then she wanted to charge $5,000. And with all due respect, if you're a brand new coach and you charge $5,000, it's the opposite of a sustainable business model. And let me explain this. There are some people out there who do charge too little. And there's other people out there that charge way too much, and they can't get repeat clients because the client's like, wow, it's not worth that. Okay? And if we charge $25,000 for Next Level Podcast Solutions, every single one of our clients would not be able to sustain that, and our business would go away. Mm-hmm. Now, not a lot of businesses have $300,000 per year extra for their marketing budget. And so it's just important to understand this. One of the things that I also wanted to say here before we move forward is so if you remember the episode that we did with Phil M. Jones, he talked about this. He said, if you cannot provide authentically a statement saying, I will provide 10 times more value than what I charge you, if I cannot provide, so in my coaching, for example, if I can't provide you 10 times more value in the long run than what I'm charging, then I should not be able to charge that. That is the opposite of this limiting delusional belief of I should be charging more. Okay, most people who feel like they should be charging more, what they should have as their belief instead, this is the replacement belief, is the more I learn about and master my craft, the more I will be able to successfully charge in a sustainable way. Okay, and Kevin and I, as we've gotten better at our craft, as we've gotten better at Next Level Podcast Solutions, as we've gotten better at Next Level Website Solutions, as we've gotten better at Next Level Business Solutions, then we charge more, and only then. And one more thing I just want to say quickly, it depends on the person. I have a client who has a podcast, and she's a coach, and she was trying to charge a lot, but her listeners don't have a lot of extra income. If your listeners are all multimillionaires, then of course, charge more. But if they're all broke or struggling paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to help them, you have to go to where they are, not the other way around. And I think it's a fine line, but it's very important.
Phil M. Jones was $783. And just for reference, like the iPhone, okay, cool, it's $1,600. You don't have to pay it all at once. You pay month to month because that's affordable. Imagine if, what's the cheapest car? I think the cheapest car is probably like $10,000, maybe the smart car. Imagine if they just upped their prices to $100,000. Like most people wouldn't be able to afford that. So the empowering replacement belief, the more I learn about and master my craft, the more I will be able to successfully charge. I think that's important. Again, if we were charging what we were charging now at the beginning, we would not have the clients we have. And on top of that, we wouldn't have learned the things that we learned in order to be able to charge a more, a higher price point because we can deliver more value. I think that goes hand in hand. Anything in closing, Jeffrey?
I just want to give a quick synopsis and then we'll go. So here's the quick synopsis, all of these beliefs. Okay, belief number one, delusional belief number one is it's all just going to work out. No, it's not. The replacement belief is what I do each day determines what does and does not work out. See, it's taking responsibility for the outcome. Delusional belief number two, I can achieve more with less effort. The replacement belief is as I become more competent and gain momentum over time in my craft, only then can I achieve more with less effort, which, by the way, a lot of the people saying that are already at the tail end. Okay? Be careful. Number 3, I should be charging more. Not necessarily true. Potentially true. Replacement belief. The more I learn about and master my craft, the more I will be able to successfully and sustainably charge my clients, especially if they are able to afford that price point.
And like Alan said, the reason we get so fired up with these is because, and I've said this since the beginning, Alan and I are growing with you. If you're watching or listening, we are growing together. Maybe we're growing at a different rate because we're doing the podcast, but we're all growing together. And I can tell you that what's working for us is doing the actual work. And this is the last thing I'll say. When we go do our work, and Alan and I do our thing, we podcast, we coach, we speak, we consult, and we go back and connect with somebody who believes these things and teaches these things, the conversation gets weird pretty quickly because they realize that we've grown so much and they haven't. That's why, because we're willing to do the work and we're willing to look at the actual beliefs of, look, it's not supposed to be easy to be successful.
Kev,
it's
how many
supposed to
times
challenge
has that
you.
happened?
Almost every time.
Yeah.
Almost every time, and it's not an ego thing. It's just Alan and I do a lot of work behind the scenes, and we want to show you what's behind the scenes. I don't want to make this look easy. I don't. I genuinely don't. Because it's not. It sucks sometimes. It does. It does. Like, Mondays are 16-hour days. It sucks sometimes. It just does. But I also want to be the best in the world at this. So I have to do that. And it's not just going to work out. Trust me, I've played that game. I didn't win, and most people don't. So I think it's heart-driven, but no BS. That's what we want to do here, and we want to do it holistically and say, look, the body, the business, the relationship, the impact, like that all is going to require a new level of you, and a next level requires conflict, which requires growth, and it's going to require growth, and growth is not comfortable, and that's okay. I think it's empowering to know that. It's okay. It's okay for it not to be comfortable. If you want to start your 2022 off and you want to make it the best year of your life, I am confident that our group coaching can do that for you. We have graduated 41 people, and they were all on fire at the end of this. It's cheap. We're not, again, it's priced so you can afford it, and you'll be with 9 other people who want to change their lives as well. If you've said to yourself recently, in the past, any time in your life, I wish I could get around more next level people, this is your opportunity. Link is in the show notes. Again, it's affordable, and you will not regret it.
Like I said about Phil M. Jones, if we could not deliver 10 times the value in those 3 months, we would not be charging the $147 per month. It will be, in the long run of your life, this can be a Mario Kart booster. When you're playing Mario Kart and you have to stray from your old path in order to hit that booster, but then you pass the other players, that's exactly what group coaching is designed to be. And the value is 10 times what you will be charged. So $147 per month for 3 months. Bianca's already in it. We've got people signed up. We are ready to rock. We are closing it at 10, and we're only doing one of these per quarter. So we'll only ever be doing group coaching once every 3 months. Okay? We only do one at a time. So get into this next group. Start 2022 off right, and you will not regret it.
And something you will learn in group coaching is what we're going to talk about tomorrow for episode number 817. What is the number one thing you should be doing every single day? We'll talk about that for Strategy Saturday, but we also go way deeper and customized in group coaching. As always, Next Level Nation, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And we do not have fans. We have family. We appreciate you all being part of that family. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Please reach out.
Bye.